Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of season 3 of the GCPD.
The Gotham City Podcast Department. To inform, to entertain, to bust and dust.
I don't know. A bunch of other things are said now.
Defense 4 is trash.
Defense 4 is
Woo,
trash.
woo, all aboard the Bane train.
Yep. So we only have 2 of us this week because, Super Bowl and then there's conventions and random stuff happening for the other 2.
Mm-hmm. It's just the sweet 2.
Yeah, Eggers is playing in the Super Bowl, so that's
true.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's why he's gone. But yeah, so we got the 2 of us. We thought we should podcast because some really sweet stuff happened, and we wanted to be able to get this out this week. So, and also, we're doing YouTube. So we have hopefully new listeners that can now listen to us on YouTube.
And maybe it sort of begins some stuff to the YouTube channel. So do some unboxing videos when we get our box in. We think it's coming in next week. So pretty excited about that.
Yep.
And maybe some battle reports, painting videos, whatever. So,
yep.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff hopefully happening. Other things, other announcements. MuseCon has officially, ticket sales are up, so you can go to museonstore.com. You can buy your ticket sales at $60 for the whole weekend. It'll be 3 days of Batman. Unsure about events. We know that there's going to be a 350-point tournament on Saturday. Beyond that, it'll be a little up in the air, but it'll be 3 days of awesome Batman. We're trying to figure out if it's going to be some type of story event maybe on Friday, or I'm actually wondering if with 3rd edition, how fast the game is now, if you can do a 450-point tournament. And I don't know if you have to actually almost make your own rules for it, limit model count or something like that.
Sure. Well, I mean, they have built in X number of whatever at X rep level, right?
But yeah, so I thought that might actually be interesting because it's something that people don't do currently.
Well, I mean, it's a brand new edition, so I think us taking the opportunity to sort of experiment with the format or rep count makes sense.
I know in the previous edition, 250 was consistently played as the Friday event of the short tournament. But now it's just this game. The game is just so much faster.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can even do a bigger event or a bigger point size, and it just works.
Yeah, it could be. It may also open the door to play to do teams, but do 400 rep or 450 rep or 500 rep team events. I also have a desire for us to do, for those who know the WTC, doing a team event where it's a 3-man team, but you each play your own games, and then the team that gets 2 out of 3 wins that round. That's always fun, and doing something like that would be cool. Because I imagine we're small enough that we could probably only, get a few teams, so it wouldn't be that long of a tournament just by nature of the fact that you only have 4 or 6 teams.
For War Machine, it's basically a whole weekend.
It is, tournament. But yeah, Nigel's been wanting to do a narrative event for a while, so basically we're going to do a standard tournament on Saturday, and then we'll figure out what else we're going to do with the weekend. Yep,
it sounds like we have Stefan on the fence of just running it for us.
Oh,
so that will be super fun. He does Renegade. If any of you went to Renegade, he's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like he's for sure coming, but he doesn't. We don't know if he's going to run it or if he's going to play.
He just doesn't. He doesn't trust us.
Either way, we want him to be here. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah. So either way, I would think it'll be a blast. We have a new. We now are in the Hy-Vee Hall, which is it's the biggest convention center in Des Moines, probably.
It depends on your definition of a convention center, but it's definitely one of the biggest. Yeah,
it's right downtown. It's right next to the basketball stadium we have here.
There's a lot of food options within walking distance, nice restaurants or fast stuff, bars for getting beers afterwards. We'll give everybody advice on places to walk to or go to, and
sadly there is no hotel block. We had the hotel kind of tried to screw us, because Elton John is playing the Thursday before the convention, and they tried to give us the price for the weekend for that Thursday. So it was $200 and something a night for the Elton John concert. But if you book your rooms now, it's only like 120 something a night or something like that. But so we decided to not do a room block because they were just trying to screw us, and they would have screwed all of our all the people that came here. So go book your rooms now if you can. Or is
there like a pseudo? Which hotel is that?
I'm not sure. It's if you go to musonstore.com to check the ticket on the ticket page, there should be a list of hotels in the area.
Okay.
So we got you covered on all the closest guys. And then you can just check those out.
Yeah.
I know because it is downtown, there's paid, like you have to pay for parking.
Gotcha.
But downtown.
Yeah, you do have to pay for parking. But there's a lot of ramps that you can do like an all-day kind of parking.
Yep. And if you're there for the weekend, a lot of hotels will have their own parking there.
Their own ramps. Another thing I will say, it's always nice to be in a close hotel, but Des Moines is not like
it's not super
an
big,
enormous metropolis.
So.
If you like got a hotel in Urbandale or West Des Moines that are like our suburbs, it would take you no more than 15 to 20 minutes to get downtown to the convention center. So if the cost of the downtown hotels is prohibitive, like look around and see, you might be able to save some money that way. It's nice to stay where everyone else is staying, of course.
Yeah.
But you can always hang out at another hotel and then go back to your hotel to sleep or whatever. So just keep that in mind if cost is something that seems like something you're looking to shave on, because I understand cons are expensive.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, it should be super exciting. Tons of Batman to be played, and tons of other events too. If you play any other games, like we try not to prohibit anybody from playing what they want to play. So there will be Batman. There will be the new Crisis Protocol is going to be there. Guild Ball,
War Machine, God Tier. We might be
God
playing
Tier.
some God Tier. We're talking
God
about
Tier.
a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, we might lose Josh to God Tier.
Just like one day, just like one day of running God Tier event.
Yeah. And then so there's just go check out. You can see. I believe you can find all of the events maybe on the page for the ticket. I'm not sure. I don't have to buy tickets because I have to make all the stuff for the convention.
Right.
I don't check it out.
It's like Nick and Nigel's like convention to set up. So they like all the details should be on the page, but there's a ton of stuff. And if there's something that you want to play that you don't see on there, shoot us a message, because maybe we can find a place to at least set you up to run a demo or something. There's also always people playing board games afterwards, and it's just, it's a con. It's a fun con, but it's one in which the organizers play Batman, and we love Batman, so come for Batman.
Oh yeah, there's also a pretty sweet painting competition. They're just trying to learn how they want to do it, so we don't know how exactly it's going to be done this year, but there's always some good painters that show up.
What year for the con is this? Is this year 4? 5,
I think.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice.
I think we've had the con every year we've been at our new Muse facility. So, yep.
Well, sweet.
All right. So, on to the big news, the real news.
The big show.
Well, first, I guess, technically. We have a Patreon in which you can go check us out.
Oh, sure.
We haven't been able to do much with the because of the 3rd edition. We haven't done much for the Patreon in the last couple months or so.
Well, it's just been hard to play.
It's been hard to play games, so it's been hard to get some content out there for you guys. So, but we hope to kind of pick it back up and kind of get back into the groove of things once we get models and rules and things like that. So you can go to patreon.com/ I think GCPD podcast, and you'll find us there. And it's awesome. Thanks for any support is given is always great, even if it's just liking this video on YouTube. First time.
There you go.
Smashing that like button, hitting the subscribe. Oh my God, this feels good.
Speak for yourself.
Oh yeah. Well, it felt good for me. Was it good for you, Josh?
I feel like a sellout. Like all the people I watch on YouTube, I think of them as sellout. No, I don't.
I mean, I'm just on YouTube constantly.
Me too, actually. My brother referred to it as humanity's first pass at a hive mind, and I love that. Like, I definitely think that's some validity to that statement. But at any rate, if you're thinking Patreon, why are these guys talking about Patreon? They put out 2 episodes in like 3 months. Keep us in mind for when we start putting more content up, because it's coming.
Yep.
We've just been waiting on Night. We've been waiting for Night to let us be ready to make content.
Yep. So, on to the Night Models news of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the Eggers. Eggers isn't here. We had to get that one in there.
Yep.
They updated their Compendium, which is kind of a big deal, actually.
Yeah.
They did it fairly quick, within just over a month, I think. They put it out on like the 24th, I think. Did it go?
It went up right before Christmas. Is that what happened?
On December 24th.
The day before Spanish Christmas.
Yep. And then it dropped. We have awesome new rules. I don't know where I'm going with this.
They've made changes to the things that we were complaining about.
Yes. If you caught any of our previous episodes, we basically touched on every single one of these problems, I guess.
I don't know that we really said anything about carrying or drag, but we just assumed that they would continue to be.
I did mention that they. I was complaining specifically about Goliath, how he has to do a special action to carry and then a special action to also fly.
Gotcha.
Now it's no longer a special action.
Okay, so I guess, and that also pertains to our sort of larger complaint about several models being stuck with multiple special actions to do their sort of thing. They didn't address all the other models, but they did at least start to address some of these things, so that's good.
Yep. Well, they made the models, I think, that were... I think Goliath was on the... Basically, he just could not be played. There was just, in any place you could play him, there were just so many better options. It's just like, there's no reason I would ever play him. He can't, like, all he can do is carry Damien, and then he just, like, not even that far.
Yeah.
But, so, the first change is actually to dodging, which, if you don't remember, previously dodging actually had no rules.
It didn't exist other than as a reference.
It was a reference from other rules to reference dodging.
The rule said that they could use the dodging rule.
There was no dodging rule. So we have a dodging rule now. Mm-hmm. And what it reads now is a model that benefits from this rule may make an effort to reduce the attack dice from a ranged attack that targets this model.
Mm-hmm.
That's very strong.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's definitely good. If you think of most acrobat models in the game, they're like in the 5 to 7 willpower range.
Mm-hmm.
So, taking 2 or 3 stun
can be a big deal.
To reduce the incoming dice can be a big deal.
Yeah. It depends on what you're playing against. If you're playing against like League and they shoot you with a gun or something, you're like, all right, I'll take the stun.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just a heads up on how this does work is that you can always effort up to 3 times, and then as you take damage, your effort count lowers.
Right.
But but say you're fresh, you don't have any stun on you, you can effort up to 3 times when you get shot.
Correct.
So that would actually take 3 dice out of their attack.
Right.
What's nice about this is that it's varied. Like you as the player can position yourself in a way that, like, well, I know I get cover in this situation, so that's 1 dice gone, and then I can take a stun or 2 stun or whatever, and that's 3 dice gone, and I don't have to worry about this gun anymore.
Right. It definitely gives you. I mean, dodging models are not immune to gunfire, but like very close to it because you are taking damage. So that's relevant, particularly if this crew has a lot of other stun attacks.
Yeah.
So like I actually would posit that this makes Batman crews strong versus dodging models in comparison to all other crews. Because like OC, right, they got a bunch of guns. You're like, I'll take stun. Cool, he's coming at me with a knife anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas in Batman, you're like, I'll take stun. Can't shoot me with that assault rifle. Uh-oh, he's coming at me with a baton.
Even batarangs get pretty dangerous at that point.
No, for sure. Yeah, right. And that also makes stun-based ranged attacks like even better.
Yeah.
Like Now you're trying to dodge this beanbag gun, and you're taking like half the damage of the beanbag gun if it successfully hits you to dodge it. So there's some interesting like as the acrobat player or the dodging player, there's definitely some interesting calculations to be made in determining how, like, you're not just going to max effort this all the time, like to reduce a gunshot.
So there is a Night Models employee, I think there's a couple now in the Discord. Mm-hmm. So I asked for confirmation on how dodging works against template weapons. So you can dodge, which if you dodge, so if you take the stun, then you can change the whatever the strength die would be into a hit die. And then you just have to take that hit die to hit you. So I don't actually know how good dodging a spray actually even is anymore.
I mean, it's good, right? Because let's say you're Catwoman and they put the template for a flamer over you that wounds on now a 3+, and you basically take one stun to make it so to get hit by a flamer, they have to hit you on a 5 on a single die. Like,
I would say
that's relevant. It depends on, it's 100% model dependent whether it's good or not.
I feel like the average defense for an acrobat model is 4.
I would agree with
There's
that. Yeah.
Catwoman and some of the Batmans and stuff that are 5s, but I think most of them are 4s.
Most are 4s. There's a decent chunk of 5s, but
if the speedsters come back, there's a lot more.
Right.
But yeah, I feel if you're a defense 4, it just is like, well, you got kind of a 50-50 to just like,
assuming it's a mechanical and is wounding on 3 as opposed to a firearm and wounding on 2, that changes the math too.
Yeah, I guess.
So it's super situational. It's nice that it's not like I always like when a rule set creates these things that you do actually have to make a calculated decision, and you don't just have like a preset response that like that like that is what you do all the time in that situation. Also,
just a heads up, you can't. I was trying to see if I could even manipulate the rule with the guy. I was just like, so say a model has dodge. What if I give them bad armor? Because the bad armor changes it to a hit die. Can I then dodge the hit die? And it's like, no, you'll always get the 1 dice.
Yeah.
So you can't try to manipulate the rules. Like I tried.
A flamer always has a chance.
A flamer always has a chance, regardless. So that's interesting. Yeah, so dodging is really cool. Your dodging models, I think, I feel like this is better than, like, in a lot of ways, I think this is better than it automatically takes a die, which is how we were kind of thinking it was going
takes
to work.
1 die, yeah. I mean, if you have a dodging model, you can, without like an effort limit, they can essentially make sure that they don't get hit by a gun, right? Like, there's a handful of guns that are going to roll 4, 5, or 6 dice. Like, I actually hadn't, until just this moment, thought about how gross Rick Flag is. He rolls 6 dice on multi-fire because it's
that's pretty gross.
Dice. Anyway, so there's a handful of models that will roll enough dice that you can't just effort them out. But also the other thing is a lot of these dodging models also have like stealth, or like you said with positioning, you can gain cover or whatever.
Yeah.
So
there's like Donna Troy is gross.
Right, or protective.
She has a shield. She is an Amazon, so she immediately takes one out anyway. And then if she gets cover, which she'd have to go get covered if she wants to use her shield, then she's just no one's gonna shoot her,
right?
But
so and then on top of it, most dodging models are defense 4 or 5 anyway. So like the chances that even if you are rolling, you're like, oh, I typically roll 4 or 5 dice. They efforted me down to 1. I just got to hit a 4 or 5 on a 1 to deal some blood damage.
Yep.
Like, it's just they're as close to being immune from guns as I think it's possible to be in the game.
Yep. But I do like that this is now a choice. And if you do play a stun crew, you can actually just kind of
capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Like, it actually makes an assault rifle in a stun crew like a really interesting piece.
It also makes those crews that are like League of Assassins that do a ton of blood. They're like, all right, what free agent can I get? Or maybe even just a blood stun weapon like that maybe exists from the prisoners or something. It's like, maybe this is something I can consider to kind of hurt my opponent that's going to just like, oh, well, I'm just immune to this. So
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, there's always like, I feel like there's a lot of go between on the you have to have something to keep people from just efforting all they want. So, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, you want to punish people that are going to effort a bunch. So
Yeah.
I think having a stun weapon or two in your crew that's semi-reliable is nice for that.
It's the exact reason why I think those blood stun pistols aren't actually that bad, as we kind of feel that they are. I think it's about, yeah.
They may not play as bad as we think on the tabletop. I still think they're pretty bad. We'll see.
I think they have a use.
Sure.
That's all I really want. I want my models to have a use and for me to have a reason to put them in the list.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
So on to the next rule. It looks like it's
we
carry.
can combine them together. It's carry and drag because their changes are essentially identical because they're identical rules except for the fact that one involves Damian
specific
Wayne.
Yeah.
You want me to read?
Go for it.
Okay, so Carrie says, I'll read them both, but Carrie says if this model passes within 2 inches of one or more friendly models during a movement action, it may make an effort and target one of those models and place it in base contact at the end of the move. The chosen model cannot have the large or huge traits. The trait model suffers impaired movement during its next activation unless it is Damian Wayne. The model cannot use the carry trait in 2 consecutive actions. And then drag is, if this model, it's like the exact same wording, except for Damian Wayne.
Yeah, it's
exactly the same except for the Damian Wayne clause.
Which I love the impaired movement bit.
Yeah, I mean, like this is now. I'm actually super excited about playing Man-Bat now.
Yeah,
because he moves something across the table and then they get to act.
Yeah,
like,
they just still do stuff.
You used to have to sacrifice your action, so I was more thinking about like it as a, and they have changed it to friendly models. It didn't used to be friendly models, right? It used to just be a model.
No, it was friendly.
Was it always friendly?
I
know carry was always friendly, but I think drag may have been any.
No, you couldn't ever grab an enemy model.
Oh, right. We were talking. The Archie thing was if you mind controlled him first, right? Okay. Yep. So, yeah, that used to be our joke about drag was you mind control some like slow enemy model,
and then it becomes a friendly model.
And it becomes friendly, and then you drag it like over to some other side of the board
before you actually activate it.
Yeah, and then it has to sacrifice its activation. So then the next activation is your mind controlled activation. So your opponent just doesn't like get him. He's like in an irrelevant spot, and your opponent doesn't get him back for like 2 turns.
Yeah, I mean you could actually continue it because you could just carry him again.
Right, you could do it again. Yeah. So Man-Bat could have. You can. Man-Bat could. Like because of the sacrificed. So Man-Bat could essentially drag a model and then just like keep him out of the game by taking himself out of the game.
Yeah.
Now that's like an 80 rep model that you're using to just like take a model out of the game.
That was how we wanted to deal with Archie specifically.
Well, specifically Archie,
yeah.
So that was like the sort of best case scenario for drag under the old rules. And now it's just sweet. Now it's just this good rule.
I think somebody on the Discord was doing the math for Damian Wayne's movement.
Mm-hmm.
He can move some like 35 inches or something like. He just moved the table.
Yeah,
which is just gross.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, with Goliath, he's sweet. I mean, and then for all the bad guy crews, just having Man-Bat at 80 some rep. I think he's
some bad guys crews can be really slow too.
Yep.
So this might really help some guys.
Well, also just for there's like some of these objective cards and these early pack, particularly the generic pack, that like have these weird placement situations like, like within 6 inches of 2 corner or 2 board edges, like over in the corner, you need to have a suspect marker. And it's just like, I guess I'd like use an undercover guy to do that. But now you can just like fly over there, fly off, do something else. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I just realized Nigel's going to play Man-Bat all the time.
He's sweet. I'm super excited about Man-Bat.
I think anybody with charismatic is actually going to consider him. I think he's actually a little tough if you don't have charismatic. Because you only get 1 free agent.
Right.
So he's your 1 free agent. So like, what is he dragging at that point?
It just like depends on. Oh, I mean, there's all kinds of sweet models for him to drag around.
It's not like that many sweet henchmen. They're like, yeah, I want to drag this suit guy.
I don't know. Drag like Damian Wayne.
I mean, oh no, you can't drag him. I was gonna say Heavy Trooper But you can't drag him because
he's large.
Yeah.
I think League actually has quite a few models that are pretty good drag targets.
Dragging that new Joker on that giant base.
Can't do it.
He's on a large model.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. That's amusing. Good point.
Yep. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Yep. Some weird stuff.
I don't know. It's movement shenanigans, and movement shenanigans are always good. So
yeah, that always makes games super entertaining and fun.
Yeah,
and unpredictable. Unpredictable is pretty good in games.
Yeah, your opponent having a lot of options and trying to plan for him. You mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Not specifically the rule unpredictable.
Yes, not the rule unpredictable.
Yeah,
I don't care about that.
It's also good though.
No, screw that rule. So then the next one is still Goliath. On the Meet Goliath rule, they just added to it. Is just this model does not reduce its effort limit due to accumulated damage, and it may take 2 free efforts when performing an attack or when defending. So 2 free does in fact mean that you don't take any stun for it.
Right. Yeah.
You still have a cap of 3, so you can take 1 stun to add 3 dice, or take 1 stun to take away 3 of your opponent's dice. But that's really powerful in my mind, anyway.
Oh, is that what that? Are you sure that's how that means?
That is what
my
that means.
assumption was it meant that you would get 2 efforts when performing an attack or like whatever. It doesn't cost stun, but your effort limit, I think, is that you can only take effort up to 3. Like
you can only effort up to 3 times.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I was thinking it was like until you had 3 stun, but that's not what it is.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So it just means when he goes to attack somebody, he's just rolling 6 dice.
Yeah, as long as he wasn't carrying. But yeah.
Yeah. Or like what do you mean as long as he wasn't carrying?
Well, because carrying counts as an effort for the turn. If he carried somebody and then attacked.
But it's it does, but I'm not I'm saying just without taking any stun, he's rolling 6 dice. He's attack 4.
He's attack 4. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I don't think I'd willingly put stun on him because he's only defense 2 on a big base.
What's his willpower?
5.
And he's desensitized, isn't he?
No.
I thought he was.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think so. I'll look. But,
all right.
But yeah, he is endurance 10, so if he gets knocked, if your opponent doesn't have a way to like arrest him, if he gets knocked out, he's more than likely just going to wake back up, and it doesn't really matter anyway.
Right.
So, yeah. Because it's actually almost irrelevant if he gets knocked out if they can't arrest him. Because, yeah, he's 10 endurance. So, and then he just wakes back up, and then he has no effort limit, so then he can just do it again.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think he's because I'll definitely play him. I don't know about in the Batman crew specifically, but in Bat Family and in Teen Titans, I don't see a reason to almost not take him. So I think he's better than most of the options around 70 points.
In Teen Titans?
I think even in Teen Titans.
Wow.
Hawk isn't as good as he used to be. Dove is still fantastic. Beast Boy, which we'll go over here in a bit, but he's not. He's mediocre at best.
Sure.
And then, yeah, there's just kind of some Batgirls and stuff. But I think he's better than the Batgirl. Or I guess there's only one Batgirl now. But other than, I mean, he's 59 points, but Jason Todd is fantastic now. But yeah, I think he is really good.
Okay. I mean, he's definitely way better than he was. There's no question about that. All right. Well, the next rule change was offensive defense. That's on, I believe, only Bronze Tiger's card. And this rule, I think maybe they forgot to put it in because it's entirely changed from whatever it was, and I don't remember what it was. But it says now, when this model blocks at least 1 hit from a melee attack, Then, after resolving the action, the attacking model suffers 2 stun damage and is pushed 2 inches in a direction of your choice. So he counterattacks for every successful block. And then he also, as long as he blocks at least 1 hit, he'll deal 2 stun damage automatically and push you 2 inches.
Push you away.
On top of whatever the counterattack is. I believe that's how it's going to work. It's kind of like complicated, but I believe you should be able to do both.
I think it just happens simultaneously, it feels like.
It depends on what it means when it says then after resolving the action, whether it's the blocks or the attack. But I think that's the same wording as counterattack, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they trigger at the same time, so you can probably do one and the other.
I mean, do things happen simultaneously in this game? I don't remember.
They do. Like, everything that's hit under, like, a template has to resolve it, so you can't... there's like some bodyguarding interaction stuff that happens or whatever.
So I think that this would be, I think it would just happen at the same time. I don't think there's it's not like Magic where one thing has to happen before the other.
I just mean that they can occur like together. You don't have to pick one or the other, I don't believe. I really think that just means like it's a couple cool rules thematically, but it also just kind of translates to Bronze Tiger never gets attacked in melee,
which I'm okay with.
Yeah, which is
like you can't be upset by it.
It's powerful.
Yeah,
it's definitely powerful.
I think there's guys that have reliable dice and are defense or attack 5. I think might be fine. I think they might still take it might be worth the risk on those guys to take the shot.
Yeah, you can get in a fight with them. It's going to be like a pseudo epic fight where there's like a lot of back and forth.
Yeah. Although I do think my counterattack versus counterattack got shut down. So I was hoping that it would just continue to, I think, the way I thought if a model had counterattack and was fighting against a model that had counterattack, I was hoping that they would just fight until they're both knocked out, but I think
somebody chose not to use their counterattack.
Yeah. No, you have to. Everyone must counterattack. But yeah, it would be entertaining.
Why do you think that doesn't still work that way?
I feel because it's been a few weeks now since I brought that up, but I feel like it was somebody told me that didn't work, but I don't remember. It might still work. If it does still work, I'm still gonna ask my opponents hey, can we just fight this out? Like just Deathstroke's just like 1v1 me, bro. 1v1 me. Yeah.
Just Deathstroke and Bronze Tiger going at it.
Yeah. So next,
except Bronze Tiger breaks the counterattack because he pushes you 2 inches away.
Oh, he does.
Then he can't fight back.
Crap.
Yeah. And then the next one?
Shapeshifting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now shapeshifting is... So before, it was whenever he...
Unplayably bad.
Whenever he would take damage and change out his... Or shapeshifting obviously is on Beast Boy. Whenever he would change out to a different form, all the damage that was on that form would just come on to the next card -1. So in gorilla form, which was endurance 4, you would take 1 away, and if you're the only one you could ever switch out to, or the only one you would switch, well, either one, I guess, would just be knocked out. You would just immediately lose the form as soon as you transformed. So it just didn't work. If you ever went into monkey form and took 4 damage, it was just you were done transforming for at least 2 rounds. So now how it works is at the start of the raids plan phase, if this model is not knocked out, then it may exchange an upgrade card with the name Animal Form. Place the new model in contact, then remove the original model. So now you just get rid of the card. Now you basically go by the actual upgrade rules, which the actual upgrade rules is when you get rid of an upgrade card, or when you exchange an upgrade card, you then remove all damage, and then you have the new upgrade card.
Right.
But you have to actually exchange the upgrade card to remove the damage. So that's how it works now. and that's how it should always has been. Like why it changed, I don't know.
I think they were trying to give him additional healing properties and like not like thinking about the wording. Maybe like
I think it was supposed to heal him. Like Beast Boy himself won, and it just didn't work.
That was my assumption, was that it was supposed to be that Beast Boy's base body would heal one every time he made a switch. But I think just the rules for upgrades and whatnot, like make writing that particular rule in like good language difficult, so they just defaulted to that's just he's an upgrade guy just like everybody else.
yeah I think so. This obviously helps Beast Boy. He's now playable.
Yeah, he was unplayable.
He was unplayable before. Now you can put him in a list and you don't have to like actively feel bad about it.
Right.
You're still not feeling great. He's so weak. He's in this. So before, I played Beast Boy quite a bit, as long as he existed. He didn't exist that long in Mark II, or in 2nd edition, I guess. But his use, because his attack was so low on his monkey form, his bird, well, it was just basically monkey form is what mattered. His attack was so low, what made him usable is that he had large, and at that time, large gave you charge. And so he was able to use his big body to charge into henchmen, and then they'd have to like be forced to block or take 2 stun. And that was pretty damaging to a lot of henchmen. It made him a disruptible force. And he was still fairly like, if you're playing him in Teen Titans, most people that knew Teen Titans were like, oh, you're just trying to have fun. You're just playing Beast Boy.
Optimal competitive choice.
Yeah. But you could still play him and you could still win games.
Yeah.
But it was largely the charge that made him something that he could be used in a game. And now that large
doesn't just
change
charge.
Yeah. He's got a lot less use with that. That monkey form became a lot worse with the attack 3. He's just going to be, and you get free defenses against it. So, he's basically just going to be blocked most of the time, and he's not going to be very disruptive. His tiger form might be better now, if you really consider it, because he's attack 4. But he's not as survivable because he's not an acrobat. He's not, all that cool stuff. But yeah, so he's still maybe usable. I think mostly the problem is that he's, I think effectively just, he's a 70-point model that at any point during the game can be a 50-point model.
Right.
So because the monkeys are somewhere around 30 to 50 points.
You're paying a premium for his flexibility.
Yeah.
But then his flexibility is that he can be three different types of model that are only about like 45 to 50 rep good at being that type of model.
Yep.
So you pay an additional 20. So usually it's a better idea to just figure out what you want in like the type of model you want in your list and be like, I'll pay the proper price for that model as opposed to paying a premium for a model that could be anything. It just depends. It'll be interesting to see because with the new objective system and the cards, his versatility might end up being more valuable. And I think that's just something that you'll have to find out through gameplay.
It'll be interesting if teams get their own cards.
Sure.
Because then you could have some really cool stuff, I think, with like things like Titans where you maybe have something that is Beast Boy specific in a card.
Yeah.
Or, random stuff like that.
So this is just further pleading, Knight, if you're listening. Give us team specific cards.
Yeah, it'd be really exciting. I don't know if it maybe would be to give them too much variety because that's
it's all in
they
how
already
the
dip
cards.
into.
I mean, I think that's like the fun of a team, right?
Yeah.
Is the you play.
They kind of all bring their own flavor,
right? You bring the Joker crew, it's Joker and some unnamed henchmen. They're all generic clown number X.
Mm-hmm.
You bring Green Arrow or the Bat Family or Suicide Squad. It's all about every eclectic model is a character.
Yeah.
So they should be.
Yeah. Like you think
weirder.
about Suicide Squad's like a good example because you have Katana who is would very obviously take objective cards from Batman.
Right.
And so when you see an objective card from Batman, you're like, oh, Katana's trying to force her her style onto
the squad,
rest of the squad. Yeah. And then Harley's in there, and she's just like, "Well, I'm a Joker, and I'm like super crazy, and blah blah blah."
Yeah.
So like that's actually, it is really cool, and it's a good reason to play teams, and it's kind of a cool, fluffy yet maybe powerful thing that brought into the game. It's just entertaining.
I mean, at the end of the day, it can only be as powerful as the cards are designed and written to be. So as long as Knight like tries to balance them and write them in a way and is ready to ban cards if they need to be banned, then yeah.
I mean, I'll be interested to see how attentive they are to the meta.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I would say they're pretty good. Like a month, like all of these things we're bringing up now, that's pretty much just basically the community and the meta as it's forming. Kind of pointing out like this doesn't work. So it's like this is, in my opinion, the Knight models being very attentive to what people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good.
I agree.
So the next one, we have Assault.
Oh, yeah. Assault. So now, when using this weapon, this model can choose to ignore the penalty for moving before attacking, but instead suffer a -1 penalty to its ranged attack dice rolls. I don't remember what it said before.
Yeah, I feel like this has to have just been a cleanup.
Yeah, because this is how I thought Assault worked.
Yeah.
It's the way that this rule change reads. So I'm wondering if there was just some sort of nitpicky rules.
I wonder if that
problem with
first sentence just almost didn't even exist. Like,
yeah, it's just maybe they didn't specifically call out before that you ignored the moving penalty.
I don't know.
So anyway, Assault. The only thing that's slightly bothersome to me about handling Assault this way is all the weapons that have Assault and then a number, and the number is like irrelevant.
Oh yeah.
So that's like a tad confusing to a new player, maybe. But if you're a new player and you're listening to this, just ignore the number after the Assault. Just read the Assault. That's what it does.
That's why. Oh, it used to say Assault X, didn't it?
It may have, yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. Yep. So that's Assault.
So the next one is actually onto equipment.
The one you're most excited about.
The one I'm personally most excited about. Josh curbed my excitement a little bit, but we'll get into that here. So Slade Wilson in Soldiers of Fortune, who is now Slade and Friends. It's the new name of the crew. We got it renamed, so that's cool. So he can now be a sidekick. He got his old equipment back that he had with Militia. It's a zero-cost equipment. When you purchase it with Slade Wilson, he gains the rank of sidekick.
Yeah. Well, that's sweet.
It's sweet. Josh, do you want to go over what you found?
Well, according to the way that you build a crew, this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But Knight has clarified or stated that they fully intend for Slade to be able to lead a crew, and that's the point of it. And
it's just that in the Discord, we were talking about how awesome it is that Slade can now run the crew, and we didn't get corrected on that.
Well, the other thing is it's obvious by its existence that that's their intent, because
him being a sidekick or free agent doesn't really matter.
It's totally meaningless.
Other than you can play a free agent. No, you can't.
You can't.
Never mind.
Because of how crews are constructed.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. If you go through and you read the configuring a crew in their basic rule book, what they say is you start. The very first model you have to select is the boss. You pick a boss from a leader or a sidekick. Then you add additional models to the crew based on the affiliation of the boss. That is how you create a crew. After selecting the models to the reputation limit, you then move to the equipment and then assign equipment to it. So you have already, by that point, selected a boss who can't be Slade Wilson because he's a free agent until he takes the equipment.
Yep.
And you don't get to retroactively go back and change your boss. Like, none of that. Like, that's just how they wrote creating a crew.
Yeah.
And if you go through, that's the steps to build your crew.
Which, by the way, that if you actually built it in that step, in that order, it would be so hard to make a crew. Because, like, think about all the times you, like, get guns, and then you're just like, all right, well, I got my list of dudes, I got the guns that I want, and then I like start putting in the equipment. I was like, oh, I don't have nearly enough like funding for this, like for these equipment that I need to have on this model.
Right.
And then you got to take all the equipment off again, go back to step one.
Right. So, the thing is, the configuring the crew is not like a bullet pointed list of like, here are the steps. It's just how they lay it out, but it's the only rules we have for like the correct way, the by the book way to make your crew. So it doesn't work with the sidekick equipment. The sidekick equipment actually doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
You could take.
Do sidekicks get?
The sidekicks
special?
have no benefit or bonuses in the game
the new
anymore.
edition. Yeah.
I was trying to think. Do they they can become boss, but any model can become boss if your boss dies.
Yeah.
So I think it's like irrelevant to be a sidekick now, other than it's like a special slot, Well, like
now it's that you can have a sidekick be your boss they
get a full inspire.
They get a full inspire.
Yeah, which is fine, but it's like there's no in-game benefit to being a sidekick. So like
if
changing him,
a boss.
like already having a boss and then changing Slade to a sidekick does nothing.
Yeah.
Because you also have already bought Slade as your one free agent. So like maybe if like whether or not the equipment specifically happens at the end of it, I don't know, but like I don't know. I don't think it works particularly well with how they've written to create the crew.
Yeah.
But it's obvious what their intent is. So I don't. This is one I'm fine with. Though it just made me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it is funny. Also in the app, how it works, if you're maybe confused, or the web app, how it works is that the guy who made the app didn't know how exactly to like make it work. So what he did to fix it is that he has a sidekick equipment where he would just be the sidekick, or he has an equipment that makes him a sidekick, but the boss as the sidekick. So if you want him to be your boss or run the crew, then you just select the one that says boss.
Boss, yeah.
Yep. So that's Slade. I actually personally am super excited about this. I was getting the new Bane largely because I had an inkling that they would fix this. Because I felt like this was just something that accidentally didn't carry over, and it looks like we were right. And then because I actually bought into Militia forever ago because I wanted to run Deathstroke as my leader.
Yeah.
And then I did it a couple times, was not very impressed, and then went away. But now Deathstroke's awesome, and so now I'm like, yes, now I can really play him, and it like will be everything I wanted it to be in second edition. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, well, it's cool that Soldiers of Forge should now have, 3 leaders.
You mean Slade? It's Slade and Friends. Thank you.
Slade and Friends have 3 leaders. Deathstroke and
Deathstroke,
Bane and Scarecrow.
Yep. Who is also, by the way, a sidekick.
I know.
Yeah.
But he's actually a sidekick, so you can, as the rules for configuring your team go, you can select him as your boss from the very beginning. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. All right. Last change is
2 more changes technically.
I just
didn't get the other one in the picture.
So next to last change is that they changed Vote Harvey Dent banner equipment to give him a 12-inch radius of Inspire instead of 8-inch, because before it gave him 8-inch,
which is
and that's just what everybody has. So it didn't do anything.
Yeah,
but now it does something. So yay!
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the 4 inches is that big of a difference.
Yeah, it's 350 funding and 5 rep to increase by 4 inches.
Yeah, well, he's a guy who already is pretty low on funding because you want to kind of bring guns with him,
and he doesn't have any bonus money in his.
He's one of the only organized crime guys that doesn't. Him and Ventriloquist, I think, are the only 2.
Yep. Which is funny because White Knight Harvey Dent
brings the money.
Brings money, but bad guy Harvey Dent.
He has the city's funding.
I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
Then he has the city funding. Once he becomes Harvey Dent, he doesn't have the city's funding.
Yeah.
He only has.
Then he has to steal what he
has to steal
earns.
it. Yeah.
He has to earn it the hard way rather than stealing from the people.
That's right.
He steals from the government.
Yeah.
Wait, is Two-Face a better person than...
I mean, obviously.
Yep. So, whether it's worth it or not, I definitely want to test it, because honestly, we need games in order to actually know if the difference between 8 and 12 is enough.
Mm.
It seems like enough. Like, what's cool is that you can play 2 lists now, if it's still a tournament is 2 list format, which still don't technically know, but we're assuming it will be. If you play 2 lists, you can do Lex with has a 16-inch Inspire, which is just huge.
Yeah.
And that's just for free. It just happens.
No, I know. That's like looking at this and being like $350 funding and 5 additional rep for 12 when Lex just gets a 16-inch. Okay, I guess.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, Lex it's still better on Lex, but having 2 crews with the Inspire being as that big could have a big impact on organized crime as a whole.
Sure.
Especially, who knows how their cards work. But if their cards end up being something where the bigger your Inspire, maybe the better it will be for them in the end. Who knows? But yeah, so that's like an interesting play, a potential play style for organized crime is just the being able to spread out more than other people, and we get those free manipulations.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. The last one is simple. It's just mechanicals change back to a 3+.
Yep. And we alluded to that earlier when we were talking about flamers wounding on 3+ in that discussion. Yep. But I thought it was weird when we saw in the book that it was 2+. Yeah. But I was just like, well, maybe because now
it's only one
that
dice.
Only applies to the strength die. They just wanted anything that had a special wounding rule to be as good as it could be or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, mechanical got worse, which is fine.
Yeah, it didn't matter much.
No, not a huge change, just nice to not
It makes the dodging rule now there's more weapons on the dodging rule. And you're like, oh well, this is actually questionable on whether I actually take the stun for it or not.
Right. Going from a 3 to a 4, is it worth taking an auto stun? Yeah, it's a good question.
If there's an effect, I think probably always.
Depends on the effect too, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. What effects are on sprays currently?
I think it's just fire and poison.
Just fire and poison?
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, tons of great changes. They didn't get to teams yet, which made me a little sad. But they're only so big.
I'm gonna take advantage and play as many six turn games with Suicide Squad as I can.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Nice to see them respond quickly, clean stuff up. So people are just starting to receive boxes. So now we've got answers to a lot of the sort of standout issues that existed. I can't play Goliath, I can't play Beast Boy, and all my acrobats don't know how to dodge. Those rules.
Those were the dodging one was the super important.
That was
that
the most important.
Lot.
Yeah,
that affected a lot of models.
Yeah. Yep.
So now that we know how that works, that was the one that needed to get hit first. Probably,
yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
Be interested to see how it morphs the meta, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
We're super excited to play. I know we've been seeing the model quality. I don't know if you've been paying attention.
I've seen a few, yeah.
The Bane looks fantastic.
Yeah. Did you get yours yet? Did you and Eggers?
No, Eggers has his. I've looked at his.
Okay.
And it's really good in person.
Yeah.
It sounds like the new resin quality, it sounds like it's better. It's the bigger models. It feels like it sounded like people were impressed with the bigger models. And it sounded like the jury was maybe still out in the smaller guys.
Okay.
But once I get my hands on it, I'll be super interested. The sprues look weird because they all look the same still, but now they're just attached to a sprue.
Okay.
So, and the material's it's been described as slightly rubbery.
Okay.
So it's durable but kind of rubbery.
What did you feel? Bane?
No, I wasn't feeling up Bane.
Oh.
So
I would have thought that would be the first thing you do.
Right after those bat nips.
You know how you win a fight against Spain, right?
Oh, God. Inside jokes. And yes, I do know how you win a fight against Spain.
We all do. Yeah. If listeners want to know, message us. We'll let you know.
Yeah, it's maybe too dirty to post.
Yeah, on YouTube. YouTube now.
Yeah.
You gotta worry about that YouTube.
Ooh, yeah, content, YouTube. Oh, no, we have to be clean now. Maybe.
I'm pretty sure we can still drop F-bombs.
I feel like I still see F-bombs on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
But sexual innuendos, probably not. Well, I don't know, actually.
I mean, aren't there just like YouTube channels devoted to like movie nip slips and stuff like that?
I mean, they get hit though, right?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I mean, we're not doing this for monetization, whatever that word is.
The monetary compensation.
Yeah, we're not doing it for that.
Monetization.
So. Yeah. So I guess we don't have to actually worry. So nip slips away.
Nips
nips out.
You guys don't realize, but this episode featured 3 separate nip slips.
Ooh, man. I can't wait for you guys to figure out where it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. If you are just listening to this for the first time because you stumbled across it because we put it on YouTube, which is kind of the idea of putting it on YouTube.
Yep.
We do have a whole backlog of, even though this says it's episode 2, there's like
episode 3.
It's season 3, episode 2.
Season 3, episode 3. Did I misspeak?
You misspoke.
No, that's because I was reading episode 2.
I think it's episode 2, though.
No, it's episode 3.
What was episode 2?
I was literally reading episode 2. Whoops.
Okay. Well, anyway, however you find this, there is a whole backlog. There's like 50-some episodes related entirely to 2nd edition Batman. So if you are interested in the history of the game, you can go there and find out all about it. And a lot of that may still apply, and a lot of it won't apply. So,
Yep. You also find us on our... you can go like our Facebook. We're just the GCPD on Facebook. And then I always always link our Facebook onto the main Batman Facebook groups and stuff like that. So, hopefully that's how you find us. Because, those groups are fun and talking to everybody there is really cool. But also, talk to us on our Facebook. I love hearing from guys that get in there and
guys that get in there.
Guys that get in there. Yep. I enjoy the discussions that we sometimes get into.
Yeah, for sure.
Then so like us on Facebook, follow or subscribe on YouTube. What else? I feel like we're missing something. We're not organized enough. There's a Patreon and
I think we covered most of it.
Okay. All right.
We're trying to
go to so another way to listen to us if you can't watch us on YouTube, if you can't get on Podbean, which we're on Podbean, go to museonminis.com. You can always catch sometimes I forget about posting on Muse, but we do post on there. You can get it directly off the website, or they also have an RSS feed, which we're attached to. So you can get in there. That's another way to listen to our content.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I think that's a podcast.
Thanks for listening. This is Josh.
And this is Colin. Bye.
You have to be Nigel.
Wait, what episode is it?
Exactly.
Fuck. It's been so long, I actually legit don't remember. Yeah, but we're on season 2. Or season 3.
It's episode 2 of season 3.
No, it's episode 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So it'll be episode 2 of season 3.
Are you doing the intro or am I doing the intro?
Who knows? Oh, yeah. I'm Nigel.
Uh-huh.
Hello, and welcome to wait, hang on. Let me do this again. Redo.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, and oh my God.
You should leave this all in.
Okay.